We've got some pew-pews and some full spreads on this week's...
Yeah, it's the best five, worst five, know what I mean? Yeah, it's the best five, worst five Trek's ever seen.
There aren't as many space battles in Star Trek as one might think for a sci-fi show set primarily on spaceships. One might also think with the marvels of today's CGI, the newer entries would dominate the top of this category. But it turns out not to be the case. I'm firmly a bigger fan of the Star Trek franchise, but this is one of the few categories Star Wars makes Trek look goofy. There are far more standoffs between ships than actual battles. Partly because of budgetary reasons in the money pit that is special effects. As always, let's talk first about the worst space battles in Trek. Number 5. Overwhelming odds. While Federation ships often work out of no-win scenarios, there's one that hasn't sat right with me anytime I've seen it, despite it being possibly the most grandiose space battle in Trek. In Discovery's Season 2 finale, before jumping nearly a millennia into the future, the Battle of Zahia with the Enterprise and Discovery against a fleet of more than a dozen Special Ops-equipped Section 31 ships under the control of... Control? Should have been opening salvo, roll credits. Tactically, they are completely surrounded and have no hope of escape or winning this battle. By the time the Klingons show up in the third act, all they should find is debris. If you're in it for the pew-pew space fights, you won't be disappointed in the epic combat contained here. Number 4. Just helping a friend. This is the beginning of a bit of a pattern in the bottom 5 regarding Janeway's choices, particularly in picking and choosing when the Prime Directive is worth stranding a crew at the other end of the galaxy, and when it's worth pretending it doesn't exist to help a friend help some people he met a few days ago. In Homestead, she decides to aid Neelix in setting up a defense shield against another race mining the asteroids in this system. It's noble, but her application of the PD is all over the board in the run of the show. Number 3. The Borg Pushovers. Dark Frontier starts with the easiest battle we've ever seen between a Federation and a Borg ship. Harry Kim comes up with a brilliant plan, and it's over in seconds. It's the Borg at their most underwhelming in space combat, and then later when Janeway again decides a transwarp coil is worth breaking the Prime Directive for, they're tame. While the episode itself is one of the wonderful stepping stones in the 7 of 9 and Janeway bonding arc, the space battles aren't all that satisfying. Number 2. The boringest of battles. A battle so uninvolved it starts during the opening credits, and the credits run longer. In Concerning Flight, no one orders to fire on these ships transporting stuff off Voyager until they no longer have the means to fire. Time to send the bridge crew through some tactical training scenarios. Number 1. Attacked for no reason. I can't think of a space battle in Trek that makes littler sense than Silent Enemy. A random alien ship they can't scan keeps attacking Enterprise, running away, then coming back multiple times to do it again. This tactic makes very little sense unless this race's intentions are somehow noble, just showing underpowered spacefaring races they're going to need enough torpedo in their tubes to get the job done against other races that really mean them harm? But hey, now Enterprise has phase cannons, and now, the best in space battles. Number 5. Knocking at Earth's Door. While many Trek movies had decent battle scenes, the only big screen entry that makes this list is the Battle of Sector 001 in First Contact. We see a ton of different classes of ships taking on this cube, but it's not till Picard, the man with a unique insight into the Borg, enters the picture that the battle turns in favor of the Federation. It was nice tying in DS9's Defiant since that class was designed specifically for fighting the Borg. A fun battle to watch with emphasis paid to tactics. Number 4. Engineering a Victory. Welcome to the DS9 Space Battle Appreciation Tour. Our first stop is the First Battle of Chintaka. A great big space battle where we get to see in the minds of the commanders of both sides. Despite the Dominion's new orbital weapons platforms, the Defiant crew shows Starfleet technical prowess even under fire. I wish the battle wasn't broken up with the unnecessary death of Jadzia, but overall a solid entry in this ranking. Number 3. Frenemies. In DS9's Season 4 opener, the Klingons have decided the Cardassians are being controlled by the Dominion, and when Ben gives Cardassian leaders asylum on DS9, The biggest space battle in Trek up to that point ensues. We get to see what preparations the Federation have made to fight the Dominion, now used against the Federation's oldest frenemy, the Klingons. We may see more photon torpedoes launched in this battle than any other. Number 2. Zindy against Zindy. In Enterprise's penultimate entry into the Zindy arc, Archer and his new allies in the Zindy culture try and stop the reptilians and insectoids from using their doomsday weapon against Earth. For mid-2000s CGI, this is an epic space battle with aquatic ships spilling tons of water into space and freezing as they're destroyed. The stakes in this one put you on the edge of your seat, hoping this armada will prevail. And it's that they don't succeed, I think, that makes it that much more compelling, bringing it right to the edge at Earth in the next episode. As if there were any doubt what would take the top spot in Trek space battles. Number 1. Retaking the castle. DS9's Sacrifice of Angels contains the grandest scale space battle we've seen in Trek, with thousands of ships squaring off. Pretty much every class of Federation, Klingon, Cardassian, and Dominion ship we'd seen to this point are represented here. While there isn't actually that much on-screen battle time, and lots of smaller shots designed to increase the sense of scale that are used, but the best space battles aren't just how many quantum torpedoes you can sling, but what's in the mind of the commanders on both sides. And watching Sisko, Dukat, and others plan their tactics in this retaking of the show's namesake gains this a well-deserved first place in this category. What's your favorite space battle in Trek?